Hey everybody, welcome to stream. Hold on just a moment while I make sure we're all good. But hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the stream. Give me just a second. I'm just checking, make sure we're all good and live really fast to make sure my signal's going through. How are you guys doing? Hope you're all having a better day than I am so far. Not like my day's bad, just not the best. Anyway, okay, I think we're good now. Just checking to make certain. So yeah, let's get started. There's quite a few things that have been going on for me lately, so I have a few things I want to talk about. I don't know if there's anything, like, too crazy, but there's some stuff. I've been trying to keep up on my internet problem. I don't know if I've updated you guys on that too much. I know that I think I mentioned it. I've been having problems with, like, general internet issues. Like, I don't know how to describe this other than it's upload and download speed issues, at least for, like, the past week or so. Whenever I went on, like, Twitch streams, or if I would go to watch something like a video on some site, wherever, I would have, like, serious buffering issues, and it got annoying really quickly, slowed down internet really, really badly, and also interfered with my streaming last time I was streaming. Well, not the last time, but it was on, I think, what was it, like, Thursday? That was pretty annoying when that happened. Or it wasn't Thursday, it was around that time, though, and it was annoying, to say the least. It made things rough, and I had my stream drop and start dying. To be honest, I'm a little concerned about the shiny hunt for more than one reason. I mean, let's not even get into the starting point that this is showing some parallels to another shiny hunt I did about a year ago, but we can talk about that in a second or two. Actually, I guess I should just go ahead and say this. For right now, I'm just gonna stick to doing, like, probably 2.5 hours or something for the next session or two at least, and then maybe a little later we'll do some longer sessions. Right now, I feel like I just want to try to do a little bit and not push myself. I want to just try and get in a little bit of this. I know it's not really getting a lot of progress, and I'd like to move on and do some other games every now and then too, but right now, I'm thinking that I want to continue with just shiny hunting and hopefully get this Regidrago out of the way. I wish this would be over, though. I really do. Anyway, I guess I can explain what I was talking about earlier about the whole this paralleling another shiny hunt. I think most of you guys who watched have kept up. At least it's like what happened last year. I was playing Sword and Shield, doing some shiny hunting, and I went after, I believe it was shiny Applin, yeah, and I went on a very, very long shiny hunt, and things did not go over well. We got a shiny Darumaka that I was hunting, like, originally alongside it, and got that relatively quickly, but after that, things fell apart. I ended up shiny hunting this Pokemon for well over a month, or at least around a month, and it didn't really go anywhere for quite some time. It was absolutely miserable, and I wish I didn't have to say it was. It was bad. I was spending a huge quantity of time every day trying to get it. I remember I did all the shiny hunting tips. I had, let's see, I didn't have my shiny charm. That was the only thing I hadn't done to increase the odds. I was having frequent internet disconnections, is making this really bad, and now when I come to do this year, all of a sudden I'm having similar problems where I'm having internet disconnections at this shiny hunt at some points, and yeah, it's kind of hard to ignore it. And top it all off, I'm getting, like, calls from my ISP, even though I was like trying to get a technician out to fix it, and they're trying to shove the issue aside and tell me everything's okay, even though I've seen it, like, constantly fucking up, and I haven't seen, like, anything to suggest it's completely fixed. It's been a little better over the past few days, but I feel like my internet problem has been kind of ignored, and I don't know if it's still gone or not. I've already told them I'm gonna fucking call them back and do something if they don't actually fix it, so I don't know. Hopefully the internet will work today. Hopefully things will go better. How are you guys? Hopefully you're doing well. Today's been a bit of a weird one for me. I'm gonna say this like really quick. I think my last stream, I don't know what happened, but I think I have an idea of like it got age restricted for whatever reason, and I think I know why. I'm not certain of that though. I'm a little bit frustrated with YouTube. I think they made like some new automation policy where they automatically flag some videos for age restriction. That's kind of annoying, not actually knowing why it's... Why are you coming into a chat and like commenting on the fact there's nobody else in the chat room? That's like incredibly rude to do. Like, there's literally no good reason to do that. Just, if you want to come into the chat and chat with someone, then talk to the streamer. If not, then don't say anything about the amount of viewers. That doesn't do any good for anybody. Like, why? I don't need to hear that, and nobody else who would be in the chat, if there are any other people, need to hear it either. I can tell what my viewer count is, not your input. That's not a funny joke. In fact, I wouldn't even say that's worthy of being called a joke. It's like, don't joke about viewer count. It's not cool. I don't think any streamer appreciates it. Seriously, I'm not joking around about that. I'd rather not have to hear about that. I do my best every time I go to stream, whether or not it's the best, best stream out there. That's up for debate, and I don't care. Obviously, I'm not doing the best, but I also don't need to be reminded of my viewer count. Okay, I guess have fun with that. I'm just gonna be sitting here doing what I've been doing. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm losing my mind on this shiny hunt. I know it's just that probably because I've never done a legendary hunt that's this long, but I guess this is the first time I've actually sat down and properly did this in a Pokemon game. I mean, I've done Dynamax Adventures, but still, ugh. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Just doing some shiny hunting. Doing shiny Regidrago hunting. Let's see, hold on a second. Actually got a little sidetracked. I had a lot on my mind I was going to bring up. I guess, oh yeah, I remember something I was going to talk about. I've been doing some stuff in my spare time. Figured maybe I'd talk about, like, games, maybe talk about, like, some current stuff going on. There's been some announcements going on, things like that. I know there's a few new games releasing this month, actually, and it's going to bring that up. Actually, earlier, I think this was yesterday, I'm not certain because I didn't keep up. There was that Super Nintendo World Direct thing. I think I just watched it earlier. I'm actually surprised how many, like, what the heck? Hold on a second, I hear something going on outside. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about, but I heard something that sounded like yelling outside for some reason. That's weird. I don't know what the hell that was about. Just suddenly yelling over something, it sounded like. I'm guessing there's, like, people that are doing some kind of work and it's somebody yelling over something not getting done correctly, so whatever. I don't know. I live near the highway, I think I've mentioned on streams before, and unfortunately, that means a lot of noise is like right near where my apartment is. I have to hear cars coming by and I can hear working happening, and it's absolutely just, it's not a fun thing to have to hear all the background noise that comes by as I sit down and do whatever. It was a real pain when I first moved in here trying to adjust all the noise. I don't know, I don't want to trade for a shiny. I've had people come in and make like that exact same offer on my stream. If I'm shiny hunting something, don't offer it to me. In fact, I hate to sound like I'm being rude about it or anything, but like a shiny hunter generally, as a rule of thumb, isn't going to want you to give them the shiny they're hunting, so I don't want somebody to give me a shiny Regidrago. I've got my hunt going for the sake of getting one for myself, not for somebody handing it to me. If I wanted somebody to give it to me, I wouldn't even be hunting it, so yeah, sorry, that's not something I want. In fact, the more people ask me, the more irritated I get with it sometimes. Not all the time, but I've had somebody come in my chat room who couldn't take a hint, and when I was shiny hunting for Groudon and kept it telling me to take a shiny Groudon from them, and I told them to leave me alone, and it took several pushes to get them to stop. It was really annoying, frankly. Anyway, let me see. Hold on a second. I'm just going to check on a thing on my stats page just really quickly. You know, I actually forgot to take care of one slight thing. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I was paying less attention to what I was doing than I should have. Surprised I didn't have any frame drops from that. I normally close all my Chrome tabs, and I forgot to today. I think we're good, though. Let me check one tiny thing before we continue. Just getting my link for Discord later, too. Okay. I think we're good now. Let me see. Yeah, okay. There we go. All taken care of. Right. Where were we? Yeah, like I was saying, I know that Super Nintendo World Direct thing came out. I watched that earlier. I've got to say, though, like, other people comment on the same thing, and I don't disagree with it. It really feels like with all the Direct stuff Nintendo's released this year, like, they're really avoiding making a main Direct or whatever, like a general Nintendo Direct, and yet they're willing to put out all these other types of Directs that nobody's really asked for. Not bad, just ones that aren't really expected. I mean, the Mario Direct is kind of expected since it's like Mario's 35th anniversary, but we've had so many... What the hell is going on outside? I'm hearing people yelling for no reason. Right, if this doesn't stop, I'm gonna have to, like, pause the stream for a minute and go see what the fuck is going on. If it doesn't get resolved, I'm gonna possibly see what's going on. If there's, like, a fight or something going on, I'm gonna call the fucking cops on these people. They need to fucking stop screaming and fucking acting weird outside my apartment. They're out in public and shouldn't be starting shit for no reason. I can't tell what the fuck is going on out there. I don't think it's anything too serious, but still, it's disturbing my train of thought, and I'm sure anybody else who's nearby hearing this isn't exactly thrilled to hear screaming for no reason. It's not even like, it's not like somebody in danger. It just sounds like somebody screaming for no good reason. Anyway, let's see. I watched it. It was pretty neat. I mean, I can give my thoughts on it, I guess. I need to go to, like, theme parks more often, frankly. I don't go up to theme parks very often. I don't get out a whole lot. I mean, naturally, this year, getting out in general has been a problem since, you know, there's been the pandemic, but, yeah. I just haven't really been able to get out and do anything this year, like... Or what I'm saying this year, like I said, sorry, but yeah, this year's been kind of boring, not great. It's like, yeah, I don't get to go out to theme parks very often. I was kind of amused by the video. I mean, I liked it, interesting, but I gotta make a few complaints, I guess. Not really a whole lot, but like, they really focused on making everything Mario themed. That's one thing I've got to say, that like watching like all the footage and like seeing all the different like imagery they put up a Super Nintendo World so far, I don't really know if I love the fact that it's like purely focused on Mario stuff so far. Like, I feel like if they're going to make a theme park based on Nintendo, then why wouldn't they make it more based on, you know, all sorts of Nintendo stuff? Like, you guys, some of you played Wii U, I'm sure, and there was that Nintendo Land game on it. I don't know, I feel like the way they handled that was really, really good, because they made a game that was based on like a theme park idea, and they incorporated a lot of Nintendo franchises into it, and meanwhile their official theme park is kind of lacking that area. It feels like it doesn't really have like a lot of different Nintendo representation. It's all Mario. I mean, it's supposed to be one part of the park, but I think it's like divided up into like 3 or 4 areas, and I don't know, I want to see more than just Mario and maybe like 2 or 3 other franchises. Give each area like a little bit of like space. Maybe not all the stuff, because that'd be impossible. But like some of their big stuff like Zelda should definitely have a space, which I'm hoping that's like one of the other areas. I think there was like mention of Donkey Kong, like spotlight some of their smaller stuff a little bit. I don't know. And I heard like about Super Nintendo World the first time and heard about how it's gonna be like a big Nintendo themed park. I had like a lot of high expectations for maybe what we could expect, and yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's kind of been dashed a little bit looking at that video. I mean, things look like they could be good. I like the way the little specialty snack stuff they had. The activities don't look bad. The mushroom-flavored popcorn sounds really weird, I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like something that's kind of bizarre for a snack food. Although they're like food court... Oh, that looked pretty good, actually. Watching that, I got hungry. The whole hamburger thing and the pizza, and was it pizza bowl? I don't remember if they called it a pizza or a pizza bowl or what. I have to look at it again, but like that looked good, really good. I haven't been to theme parks often enough. I feel like once this opens up in Orlando, I'm gonna look into the prices and see how it looks. Maybe see about going down there, see the closest location, see how hard it'd be to go down. Hopefully, I can visit it at some point. I want to go out and see what it's like, though. I mean, preferably if I could have a friend going with me, but I don't have anybody in real life I know that would want to go out and check it out with me. Oh well, let's see. That's the main things I was going to bring up. There's some other stuff. I mean, I played some stuff, like I played a ROM hack I was working on finishing, and I started another game today. I mean, mostly me playing through an older game. I don't know about you guys, when I get bored and I don't have anything else to play and there's like no new stuff, sometimes I like to go back and revisit old games I've already beaten, and I did that a little bit, and I haven't really been going too fast, but I've been playing an older game again. I've been going through Kirby Superstar on the Switch Online, actually. Been taking my time through it. Clearly, I've forgotten what I've been doing a little bit, because I couldn't remember all the game modes too well. I got into Great Cave Offensive, and then realized, like, later I was misremembering parts of it for the Milky Way Wishes stuff. I've got to say, I remember really loving Kirby Superstar, and I still do enjoy, like, quite a bit of what I've played already. I've been taking my sweet time with it, since there's so much stuff to do with it. Whether you just mess around in the little mini-games, or you focus on all the main stuff. I like how the game has, like, a lot of different things you can do that only take, like, so much time. Speaking of which, I wonder what they're going to do for the next Kirby game. I do agree with the general consensus, though, that, yeah, new Kirby should be not another 2D platform or something that actually mixes up the formula a little bit and makes it more interesting. I think another game that's just another platformer that's just same side-scroller we've always been used to is not going to cut it this time. It's getting a little too boring, in my opinion, to keep throwing out the same old Kirby game, and I'm not really looking to buy that again. I don't mind Kirby, I just want something a little bit different. I feel like I've had my fill on playing 2D Kirby games. There's just so many of them, and a lot of them don't identify themselves by being, like, different enough. Wouldn't mind seeing some more remakes of older Kirby games, though. That wouldn't be too bad. Like, I'd actually like to see Kirby 64 get remade, since that game was pretty cool. Especially since it had the whole combining powers, and it was actually a pretty unique way to handle it. I know they did that in Star Allies, but it didn't feel as cool this time for whatever reason. I don't know why. It wasn't the same. Hopefully 2021 is more interesting than this year. It's crazy to think that the year's almost over. Like, it feels... Heard like other streamers say this, and I gotta agree. Like, this year has somehow felt like both incredibly slow and incredibly fast at the same time. I guess because of the lack of stuff that's happened this year, it's been boring enough that nothing interesting's really happening. Let me check on something really quickly. Not anything too bad. Just want to check on a thing on Discord really quick. Okay, give me a moment or two. I'm gonna look at something I wanted to check on my stuff. Also, something else I wanted to bring up. I guess it's regarding, like, streams for this year and next year, which we can talk about in a second. because it's about how I'm going to handle the first of the year, like, first few streams of the year. So, obviously, we've been doing this Regidrago stuff, and we've been doing, like, shiny hunting in general. I don't know if I remember to count one here. If I skip it, whatever, I'm going to ignore it, then not worry about it, and I'll just count in the next one. But yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I didn't expect to be wasting this much time trying to get the shiny hunt over. If I don't get my shiny by the end of the month, I think next month, we're probably going to do it anyway, but, like, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from doing any of this. And I mean, we're going to take a break anyway, and there's going to be less streaming, but I've already been burned out, and I told myself before that I didn't want to continue streaming at the moment because I was feeling depression. This is meant to be like a break from regular streaming, and obviously I've been taking it a little easier on the streaming, but I've been pushing myself a lot harder on the shiny hunting than I intended to. Like, a lot harder. I was expecting we'd be able to get Regidrago, hopefully, quickly, without too much struggle, and here we are, still sitting here, not really getting any luck just yet. I'm very, very frustrated by how slow it's been, too. Like, I do really want to see this get finished and over relatively quickly. Also, I think I forgot to count that one. There we go, got another encounter added to it like we were supposed to. Like I was saying, yeah, it's been slow. We haven't gotten anywhere with like, this hunt, and also I've been meaning to do, like, once or twice a month streams, and the shiny hunts were going to be, like, the sole exception where I did, like, a little bit of this, and I was intending it to go on like this. I think if I don't get this done soon, like, after I get the Regidrago, I might take a break next month. I don't know. I want to do Regi Ice as well, so I mean, I'm going to see how things are looking, and if I get this before the month's over, it depends on, I think, where we're going to be sitting at. I might not do anything next month. I might do something next month. I might actually not stream for 2 months or more, for all I know. I don't know. Also, I hope YouTube's not just flagging videos for some dumb reason, since they bothered to age restrict one of my videos. Like, I hope it's not them flagging videos just because they have swearing in it. It's like, there's a lot of streams I've done that have swearing that didn't get flagged, and if that's part of it, then that's kind of ridiculous, considering that just now, like, one of mine got flagged the first time. I don't find that to be too fair. I don't think that's the reason. There was some other stuff that I talked about that I'm not going to bring up because I don't know what in the automation filter, like, triggered my video getting age restricted for whatever reason. I hope they're not putting in more policies because of their whole for kids or not for kids thing. That's one of the changes I'm not a big fan of on YouTube. I mean, it's not terrible, but I feel like that's a worse change in my opinion. It's really stupid that they're making it so that you have to, like, limit your audiences and get, like, less sponsors based on, like, how you set your video. Like, you have to flag it correctly or YouTube will automatically change it, and they'll, like, change how much ad revenue you can get. I don't really have, like, ads turned on in the first place. I don't have to deal with that, and I don't have any ad revenue or anything, but, like, just the idea of this whole system, it makes me wonder if YouTube actually thought any of it through before they handled it. They've been getting more and more pushy with, like, their more recent changes, and I don't really love that about YouTube. YouTube as a whole has been kind of, ugh. Also, just in general, I think next month, not even next month, like, next year is going to be probably way less active for the streams. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait a little bit before I make a final decision on how this is going to work. But yeah, I'm not really thinking we're going to be as busy. I've been wanting to do a lot. I've been, like, focused on just, like, trying to get through the year until I can get the vaccine, obviously, like everybody else. I'm honestly, like, a little bit nervous about getting the COVID vaccine. It's that whole thing about, these are, like, the first batches. I've heard about some tests with, like, the vaccine ending with, like, a lot of death, like, the mortality rate being really, really high on it. And it's like, well, if you're telling me the death rate's high, it's like, I don't know if I want to quickly jump into getting vaccinated or not. I do want to get vaccinated, but obviously I don't think throwing your life away is worth the vaccine if you're not certain, if it's not proven to be like something that's very effective. Like, I had this argument with my parents like a few months back actually about the vaccine and how supposedly one of the vaccines that was being tested had like a 1/4 rate of like people who were getting vaccinated dying from it. And it's like, if that's what you can report back from your COVID vaccine, then that's not exactly a successful vaccination in my opinion. It's like, if you have to report that you're seeing 25% of people taking the vaccine dying, then that's a pretty high risk to get vaccinated in the first place. I don't know. Just my opinion. I hope that's not why my video got flagged. I know YouTube's been very, very particularly picky about videos that mention coronavirus or COVID, and that's why I got flagged on my last stream. I'm going to be very, very upset with them, because it's like, oh yeah, if you're going to get flagged for just mentioning something that's important and big going on in the world right now, then that's kind of a really, really stupid reason to flag anybody. That means anybody who even tries to talk about it gets censored by YouTube. I don't know if I guess I'm going to mark that off of my account. I can't actually remember if I counted up to the next one or if I left that off, so I'm just going to wait until we get another encounter. Better to not start incrementing it when I don't have an actual idea if we got the encounter or not. Everything okay in the chat room? Chat's been a little bit funny today, and I'm not really sure if it's been working or not. Just checking. I think we're okay. Just making certain, though. Oh, man. This virus, though, this whole year's been, like, really, really lame. I have high hopes next year will be better. This is going to be a heck of a decade to remember, though, looking back on it. Started off with a terrible pandemic ruining everything and making the start of, like, a whole decade worse. Won't be a fun time to look back on. It'll be great when it's over, though. Okay, let me decide what I want to talk about. I got a few things I want to talk about. Not really a whole lot, but there's some other stuff that I can remember. So, this is just if anybody's listening. If not, it's not really a big deal. How do you guys feel about, like, the Pokemon trading card game? I'm just curious because I've noticed, like, recently, there's been a lot of popularity regarding the trading card game. Like, I've been watching, like, on YouTube and Twitch. There's been, like, more and more streams and videos of the TCG stuff getting, like, opened up just all of a sudden. I think it's all got to do with, like, I think Jake Paul was the one who popularized this because he opened up, like, a bunch of, like, Pokemon cards on a stream or something, and then ever since then they've gotten, like, really popular. I think I remember, like, when I was younger, I used to be really into, like, the Pokemon trading card game stuff. I used to, like, enjoy getting the cards and just, like, looking at them some, and I remember I tried to play with them, and I remember I did it a lot in school. Like, me and my classmates, we all messed around with them. I think a lot of people had the same experience where nobody knew what they were doing with the cards, and we all just, like, kind of made up our own rules and messed around with them. It was just a weird time. Like, it wasn't like it was unfun. It wasn't amazing. It's a terribly strange time. I remember I collected quite a bit of the cards, though. It was fun to do stuff like that. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I've never really been, like, big on it. I think after, like, I don't know when, I want to say 4th or 5th, maybe it was, like, after, like, 3rd grade or something, I stopped really caring about them. I didn't really care too much to begin with. Like, I thought they were kind of neat looking, and I mean, I think I got into it because I thought the collectability aspect was cool, but then it's like, after so much time, it turned into like, I don't know if I care about cards. They're neat, but it's like, it's literally just paper when you boil it down to it, and it's like, it's neat and all, but my passion is still playing games, and one day I want to make a game, so I don't know if it's as much fun or as interesting for me to go around trying to collect cards. It just doesn't have that same feel to it. It's not something I get that thrill out of. I mean, I guess if you know how to play it and you're good at it, then yeah, maybe it can be really fun, but I never really had the urge to get deeply involved with the Pokemon trading card game stuff, so never really cared too much. I mean, I'd rather just play the main games at that point. I'm not even somebody who's big on playing Pokemon in general. Just I would rather play this than play trading card game. I will say, like, when we're speaking of the Pokemon trading card game stuff, I remember, because I found it, like, really late, but I remember there was, like, a Game Boy Color game. I think I got it at, like, a local store. I don't know how big it is. It's a place called Game Exchange. They localize in, like, retro stuff, and they have other things they sell, too. They were more focused on games in the past, and now they've started moving towards, like, skateboards and stuff, which is really weird considering they're supposed to be like a video game shop first and foremost. But yeah, they sold retro games, and I got a copy of the old Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy Color back in the day, or Game Boy, I guess. I'm not sure if it was meant to be Game Boy Color, but I found that all of a sudden, like, looking through their stuff, and I've got to say it was a pretty fun experience to, like, mess around with. I think I streamed it, actually. I don't know if it's... I need to, like, set up some playlists, because I don't actually have my videos organized where I can put my older stuff out for visibility as well, so I need to, like, set that up. But, like, it's really, really good. I don't think it's actually based on the rules of, like, how the trading card game work, though. I think it was... like, somebody actually talked a bit about the stuff on my stream when I was playing it, and apparently the company that was in charge of the trading card game on Game Boy was like some company who made like several of these kind of like trading card based games on Game Boy or just like similar systems at the time, and they all kind of functioned the same way with how their rule sets worked, and apparently as a result the Pokemon trading card game had like a very, very similar structure to it, the way they set it up. It was still really fun, though. I enjoyed playing it and thought it was really, really neat. I've never been big on trading card game stuff. Remember, I played some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff with, like, trading card games, and, like, I think I played, like, a Game Boy Advance game or two with the series, too. Like, I never got into it, though. I don't know, I never really loved the concept behind it. It's not amazing. It's not bad, just not that great, in my opinion. Still pretty cool, though. There's still some fun aspects to it. I'm still sore they never made, like, another video game based on the trading card game. They made one for Game Boy Color, and then they made another one later on, and they didn't make another one. They were both Gen 1 games, where they had, like, Pokemon from Gen 1 specifically, and they didn't go past that, and the second one was, like, all... like, Japanese exclusive, so it's like, yeah, nobody can read this, it's all in Japanese. I don't know. It was a pretty fun game from what I played, though. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Hang on a second, I'm gonna check on something really fast, and then we'll just continue forward with what we're doing after that. Somebody left a dislike. Really? Why are people, like, leaving a dislike for no real reason? It's like, seriously, I'm trying to just mind my own business, trying to stream, and if you don't really haven't found the stream interesting, it's one thing, but disliking for no good reason, I don't understand why you'd waste your time coming up and disliking a stream purely because you don't find it interesting. Okay, I think we're good. I was trying to do something here for a second. I wanted to check on something, do some other stuff, but, like, that bothers me when people do that crap. I don't know, not really a big deal. Hold on a second, I'm going to have to check on something really fast. I have to check on a quick thing on my YouTube page. Sometimes I have a problem. It's not been as frequent, but, like, sometimes when I check on stats on YouTube, I have a problem where my YouTube will just, like, all of a sudden disconnect me from my account, and just, like, it makes it really awkward, and I have to, like, reload to see my chat room. It's not a good thing when that happens. I had to, like, double check and make sure that didn't happen. So, yeah. I think we're good now. Let me just see. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, my messages, or my test messages, I mean to say, went through, so I think we're good. Sorry about that. Just wanted to check on, like, one or two things. I don't know why I do it in the first place, but, like, it does bother me seeing dislikes on my videos. I know it's not really that big of a deal, but it doesn't feel great. And there's always that one person, it seems like, who comes by and they dislike purely just because they don't think a stream is interesting. It's like, that's not why the button is there. I'm pretty sure the dislike button is meant to be for purely bad content, but whatever. I'm not going to sit here and keep talking about that. I mean, I don't know. It's not like it's a terrible system. YouTube's system works out pretty well, so I can't complain too much about it. Still, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I was talking about card games more, because I wouldn't mind. I've never played too many card games, actually. In fact, I never really got into any of them. I know Magic the Gathering was another big one, and I never really checked into it. Also, hold on a second, I need to do one thing that I forgot about really fast. It won't take more than just a moment or two. I've heard about some friends who got into it. It's got like a little bit more popularity over the years. I've never really had too much interest in it. It seems like a decent card game series, though. Not something that's amazing, though. I don't know much about it. Hey, Zachary, welcome to the stream. Give me just a second or two. I'm just checking some stuff really quickly before I finish what I was doing. It's gonna be a moment, so just bear with me. I'm checking one little thing. Okay, I think we're good now. Anyway, where was I? We were talking about card games. I don't know, I've never played it. Any of them you guys like? I mean, I know there's the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I also talked about Pokemon trading card game earlier. I know people are like doing stuff with that now. I don't think people are actually like playing for competitive stuff in Pokemon trading card game. I think it's people are like just opening the packs right now and like trying to get good cards or whatever. I know they've been making new stuff, and I know people are also trying to like resell Pokemon cards on eBay or whatever for like a higher profit margin. Although from what I've heard, it's not really a worthwhile thing to bother with, and I don't think I would ever really want to try it myself. Also, you can rest assured I'm not going to do that on stream if anybody has any question about it, although it's just because I don't really feel comfortable with the idea of having a webcam, or I don't really want to show my face on the stream right now anyway, especially either, like, it's just a matter of, like, multiple things. I'm not sure I'm at that level of comfort with my streaming, and also I don't have my living environment where it's, like, tidy enough all times. I'd like to have like a webcam or anything going in the background. It's just more convenient to do it like this, and I like it this way. It bothers me when people get like uptight about streamers not having webcams, and it's like, why? It ultimately doesn't matter. It's like, it's really not any of your business whether or not the streamer uses a webcam. Just my 2 cents on it, though. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent about it. Anyway, we're talking about trading card games, like I said. I used to really like doing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Unfortunately, I think I like stopped because I lost like some cards that I had that I found that I really liked in it. Like I collected like a few packs, and then I was upset or I couldn't find where they were at. Yu-Gi-Oh was a lot easier to understand than Pokemon was in terms of like trading card game stuff. Like the rules were much more simple to understand. I remember messing around with like friends when I was younger. I gotta say, it was a pretty good time just comparing cards, messing around with stuff when I was younger. I think the one card I remember, like, I think I lost some stuff. I got like a Blue Eyes White Dragon in like one of the first packs I got, and I ended up losing it. I don't remember what I did with it, but I couldn't find it, and it was, after I'd lost it, I was like kind of upset and bummed out and didn't really bother collecting it. But also, like, I think this is one thing that a lot of people got into, the whole thing where the monsters were actually like active on the battlefield or whatever. That was one of the draws that made Yu-Gi-Oh cool as a little kid. You could always see like different aspects than most shows. Made it feel a little more neat. Made the card game look cooler too, seeing like monsters battling on there. I don't know, just my 2 cents. I always liked that about Yu-Gi-Oh. Also, like, yes, when you're talking about card games, also a good idea to bring up, like, what's it called? Dungeons and Dragons, I think, or I'm misremembering the name. You know, I'm talking about D&D. I've never really played D&D. I hear a lot of good things about it. I remember one of my friends I met like a few years ago, which unfortunately I haven't talked to in some time, but I met him in like San Antonio. He got into D&D and he was really interested in it. It seems like there was a weird stigma against it, though. People like claim it's like some satanic thing or whatever, and like claim it's evil, and it's like, I thought we were past this shit. I remember back in the day when there were like Pokemon commercials. It wasn't commercials, like Pokemon stuff that was like going around like the games are new, and like I remember some video that I saw like on YouTube and stuff I saw when I was younger, I think, where it's like people like claiming it was a like, what's the right word for it? Like it was some series from Satan or some shit, some stupid bullshit, and they were claiming Pokemon was evil. Like there was like a video of like some priest talking about how Pokemon is like the devil's way of brainwashing kids or something. Some really stupid bullshit that honestly isn't something you should be listening to, but like it was something weird to say the least. It was some mass hysteria crap, and I'm surprised we still built that in like any capacity. I don't think it's as big now where you see these people who are like trying to throw out this conspiracy BS, but it was pretty bad back in the day, especially. Actually, speaking of that, like playing video games back in the day was kind of rough, actually. This is a weird thing to talk about for a moment, and it's a little bit of a strange segue to bring up, but like I remember when I was younger and like, I guess it was in elementary, maybe in middle school something, people were not like that accepting of video games. I mean, obviously there were a lot of kids who liked them and we all would talk and like try to get along most of the time, but like, I remember there were like a lot of people in school and just outside in general, like other people who would like treat kids really poorly, or just like treat anybody who plays video games really poorly. Like you got treated like an outcast, like you were weird, and what's the right word for this? Like they treated you really badly, treating you like less than everybody else just because you played video games. For some reason, there was a huge negative stigma surrounding video games, and it didn't disappear for a long time. It was people like harassing anybody who played games. I think I dealt with this until at least like middle school or like high school or something. People were really, really weirdly against video games. It's kind of crazy to like look at all that and see how far things like progressed and advanced, and nowadays people are way more cool with games and understand they're not harmful and trying to play some role of harming society. They're just another form of entertainment. Like, ugh, that was not a fun time to live through. I'm glad they've been recognized as a what's the right word? Form of media. It really sucked, though. It really, really did. I don't feel like I've ever heard of any other like big type of media out there that's been through this exact problem. Like, I don't recall hearing about movies getting like shat on the same way video games did. It was lame. I only remember so much of it. Like, let's see, I was part of the like younger generation that grew up on video games. Like, you look at James Rolfe and like Mike Matei, people older than them too. Let's see, I think there's like Larry Bundy Jr. I'm not sure who like some of the older YouTubers who do stuff on games are, but like I'm sure if you were to get into this topic with some of them and talk about it, like they could probably elaborate more on what I'm talking about, how there was some weird stigma about video games back in the day, and it was nasty to say the least. I don't know what caused it. Shit, I think I forgot to mark that. I'm just gonna count it because I think I might have missed an encounter already earlier, so might as well do it just to be safe. I'm glad that stuff's mostly gone, though. It was not a pleasant time, to say the least. Let's see. Give me a second or two. I have a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but I also didn't, like, come prepared for or talking the whole stream. That's why I've been trying to adapt to making like a notepad thing for filling out for topics, and I'm not streaming and try to think of new stuff and just jot it down there. Even though it's not ideal, it's like, well, this is better than running low for shit to talk about while I'm streaming, so it makes it a little easier on me. Actually, I take that back. There are a few things I wanted to talk about. I played some good stuff earlier. It was yesterday, actually. I played a mod that I was playing and like finished it for the first time. I think I talked to you guys about how I played some Pikmin stuff before, and I know you guys probably remember at least a little bit of my playthrough with that Pikmin 251 ROM hack before I gave up on it. I've been playing a ROM hack by the same creator, actually, just recently. It's called Colossal Caverns, I think. Yeah, it's a Pikmin 2 ROM hack. It's really, really good, and I talked about it on stream a little bit. It's like a giant cavern. It's a little bit of spoiler, I guess, but like it's basically like a giant cave like it from Pikmin 2, and it's much bigger than anything else in the game. It combines like all the enemies from the game into this one cave and all the treasures into the one cave, and makes it almost like a roguelike. You get to select like a bunch of different difficulty options and like filter through like a different set of like settings you can use. It's really, really neat. I finished my first run of it just recently, and I gotta say, really fun. I haven't had the urge to go back and play it just yet, but it's been very enjoyable. The only problem I have with it is that it has a very particular problem with it. I guess bug would be the right word. I'm not really sure. The emulator Dolphin, obviously, since you play GameCube games, it's really, really crashy. I mean, really crashy. I've been playing this ROM hack for a while, trying to like beat it, and I've been had to like tweak the emulator some every now and then with like little various recommendations to sit here and play through it. It's like I'll sit here and carry stuff back in the game, and suddenly it just crashes out of nowhere. I don't know what the problem with it is. It's been great to play and a lot of fun, but it is one of the most unstable ROM hacks I've ever played. Outside of that, it is great though, and I love it. It's very much interesting because it feels like something weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's bigger than the main game. I'm not sure why. I guess it's because the way they handle the map loading, since it's all like dropped into one giant map instead of like loaded how the game would normally load it. I don't know. Also, there's like a bunch of unique new features that are dropped in. It's really cool though. Really, really good mod. I've actually been like talking about this a little bit, but I think if you guys are interested, I'm thinking of doing like some streams with like some ROM hack stuff next year for like, probably like, since I've been planning to do like streams every month or two, I thought maybe I could do like one of my streams for like a catch-up stream would be me doing some ROM hacks for some games. I think first one I do will be like some Pikmin 2 ROM hacks that I want to check out, or even just Pikmin in general, because I have like a lot that I've looked at and had interest in checking out, and I've been like compiling a list of really good ones. There's a first-person hack somebody made. There's one that's really dumb and memey, and it's called Pikmin. It's really stupid looking. Let's see. There's some general difficulty stuff, and then there's one other that I've been like looking at, and it's I don't think it's finished yet, unfortunately. I've been following like a really neat one. Basically, some fan group has been making some game called Pikmin New Fortune. It's supposedly like, I don't know what the story is exactly. It's got something to do with like, I think it's supposed to be something zombie based or something. There's like enemies that infect Pikmin with like spores and make them zombie like. So I think it's something to do with that. And I'm not sure where the game's supposed to take place in the timeline, but it's said they named their project as like something that would be like another Pikmin thing you could play to enjoy while waiting on Pikmin 4, so I get the impression it's meant to be somewhere around Pikmin 2 and 3. It looks really, really good. They're adding like new Pikmin species and new enemy species and brand new maps. It's also not going to be super hard like the last ROM hack I tried on stream, so I'm actually interested in checking it out and seeing how fun it is. Unfortunately, there's not even like a trailer yet of the game, so I don't know when they're going to finally drop the ROM hack and be done with it. It's probably going to be a while before they have like a first trailer to show off. My throat's acting up a little bit, sorry. Ugh. I might actually need to go grab a water in a little bit. Oh well, whatever. Let's see. Hold on a second, I'm just looking at my clock actually. The 19th, right? It's only like 6 days away from Christmas time. Wow. Feels unreal. So, out of curiosity, I think I've asked before, I don't remember for certain. I'm sure I haven't asked like everyone yet, but what are you guys hoping to get for Christmas this year out of curiosity? Personally, I don't really care too much. I'm not really too worried about getting a Christmas gift, but I mean, I feel like I do need a little bit of extra money, so I'm probably going to have to, I hope I get a little bit from my parents so I can focus on getting a new phone. I've been needing it really badly for the past few months, and I don't think I can keep holding on, waiting to get a new phone much longer. It's not exactly safe to go around without a phone nowadays. Like, I remember I got into a conversation with my therapist recently about cell phones, and he argued how he didn't think cell phones were necessary and like how people overuse them, and like, I'll be honest, I feel like cell phones are much more important than he realizes. Like, not only are they good for emergencies, like, if you were sudden like a car crash and you got stuck without any way to really contact somebody, one of your best ways to have any type of help and like any reliability of getting out of your situation is to have a phone on hand and be able to call 911 or something if anybody's actually okay to like use their cell phone. Like, things might have worked out and been fine in the past without like the higher tech phones we have, but nowadays I don't think there's any good reason to like be so against a cell phone for emergency purposes at the very least. Like, that's not even the only scenario that could be bad. We hear about shit like school shootings happening nowadays. Like, even if you had to like think in the heat of the moment, like calling the cops and getting somebody around to like control shit like that would probably be a huge importance if something like that happened at a school. That'd be like a really, really big reason to have a phone handy. Or on top of that, like, there's problems where you hear about people just getting attacked on the street or random shit happening like shootings out of nowhere. America's not the best place to live right now, considering how terrible things have been over the past few years and how we hear about random shootings or bombings going around. And yeah, I feel like cell phones are really important, so I need one really badly. Oh boy, I hope YouTube's not gonna fucking flag this video again like they did the last one. All because I mentioned that. I don't know why they decided to age restrict the last video it was like streaming for, but I'm not looking to have my videos age restricted just because I talked about a slightly sensitive subject. I feel like they bend their rules for whatever purposes they want to. Anyway, whatever. Hold on a second. I'm gonna check my little list of topics in a second, because I'm not really sure what else I want to talk about at the moment, and I want to talk about some other stuff, just nothing's really coming up to my mind. I mean, I did a few things that are on mind, like Pokemon Go stuff, and here's another one, I guess, in the meantime, while I get ready to look over my stuff. Anybody gonna be checking out that new Pokemon movie next year? I haven't been watching those very often, keeping up with them too much, but I have interest in maybe checking out the new one. I don't know if I'm going to really watch it, though, because I don't really pay much attention to the animated Pokemon movies. They're alright, they're just not really my cup of tea, frankly. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Pokemon animated series and the Pokemon movies. I mean, I can watch them, and I do like the anime, but yeah, I don't really pay much attention to the movies and the anime anymore. So I'm going to check the chat, because I can't tell if the chat's okay. It's been no messages in some time. Just gotta double check. Whew. Seems like they always do this for like new mythical Pokemon or whatever. Movies are alright, they're just not the most amazing. They're pretty cool sometimes though. Maybe the Zarude movie will be interesting though, maybe, I don't know. Let me see. Give me a moment or two. I'm just looking here on what I want to bring up for the moment to talk about, because I got a lot that's on here. Yeah, I'm going to need a moment or two, guys. Just bear with me. It won't be that long. Okay, I got something to talk about. It might be better I bring this up later, and I guess if I need to, I will. So here's a fun topic of discussion, something that you guys might like. What's your favorite game controller? Like, what's the best controller in your guys' opinion? What's the best one you've used? I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts on this. What's everyone's particular favorites? I'm not sure about my personal favorite. I'm going to be open when I say that I am not in love with the Switch's controllers, considering that they're all fairly susceptible to getting drift problems, and it's like, you can say whatever you will about other consoles getting drift, but I've had more drift issues on my Switch Pro controller and my Joy-Cons than I have any other, like, consoles that I've owned. Like, it seems like it's very, very frequent. The only other console that I can think of that maybe had as much drifting problem was probably the Nintendo 64, and that was something that you could typically solve by, like, unplugging and replugging the controller, and then boom, what do you know, after plugging it back in again, it'd usually go away and you'd be able to play. Sure, it wouldn't be permanently fixed and it'd come back later, but it'd usually get rid of the problem long enough that you could just ignore it and not really think about it. That's not really a thing you can do with the, like, Switch, though. You don't have any option to do that, and it's kind of awful that the one way to play in handheld mode is ruined by the fact the Joy-Cons have drifting problems. I can't stand it. I don't know, they'd probably have some of the worst controller build for that reason alone. I wasn't meaning to get on to a rant about why the Joy-Cons were lame right now, even though, yeah, I've gave my thoughts about them, but also, like, right, let's talk about, like, actual good controllers now, stuff that's actually fun to use. Let's see. That's a hard one out of, like, everything I've used, frankly. I'm not really certain what my favorite is. It kind of depends on, like, what features we're talking. I kind of am partial to the GameCube controller, actually. Like, I won't lie, I genuinely enjoyed using my GameCube controller on, like, most of the GameCube games I play, even on other stuff. I mean, I think I used it on Dolphin some when it, like, back in the day when I had, like, a like, GameCube controller adapter. The problem was some of the shoulder button presses weren't registering correctly, so I had to stop using it because it wasn't working out because of that, so ended up not really keeping it as a primary PC controller, but it's a very, very handy controller, both for GameCube and for playing on Dolphin, and generally, like, a pretty good, like, general use controller. Very, very nice. It's definitely a good controller for Smash. I don't swear by playing on GameCube controller, though. In fact, you asked me about Smash, I would not say that I prefer to play by the GameCube controller. It's still a good controller for Smash, I already know that. People praise it left and right, but frankly, I've moved on from the GameCube controller being my main controller. I'm the type of person who prefers to adapt to, like, new controllers for my new consoles, and going back to, like, a GameCube controller to play Smash Bros. Isn't really something I have too much interest in. I think if there's, like, one major Switch game I would consider using the GameCube controller on, it'd probably be playing Super Mario Sunshine. Just because Sunshine and, like, 3D All-Stars just not played very well with, like, a Switch Pro controller or even the Joy-Cons. Those, like, pressure-sensitive analogs, the analog triggers on the GameCube controller are, like, pretty much built for using on Sunshine or any specific GameCube games that require them. It's just not the same without them, and the fact they tried to half-ass a solution just doesn't really work. It's like, yeah, I'll take using a real GameCube controller over using their weird solution they tried to give us. I don't know. GameCube controller is definitely good. I think I like the SNES controller as well, although to be frank, I feel like I'd still prefer to have any controller with like a joystick over. Yeah, that's right. I think yeah, joystick. And make sure I didn't misremember my terminology. Excuse me. But yeah, I prefer having a joystick over using a D-pad. There's a lot of argument over this in like gaming circles, whether or not which one's better, and like, oh, well, the D-pad is better for platformers, and it's like, I could not agree less. It's like, I've used controllers all my life, and in most experiences, I feel like I have never once felt like I needed to play a game on like a percent play a platformer with a D-pad necessarily. Like the biggest thing I can think of is like some games like Super Metroid or even Metroid in general, where some inputs are like very, very hard to pull off without a D-pad. Even like fighting games, those might require it. But I've never played that many platformers that make me think, oh yeah, this needs to have a D-pad used instead of a platformer. I never get why people make that argument in games, because it feels like it's basically the same using a joystick, in my opinion. I don't know, just my 2 cents. For 3D games, I would say, yeah, joystick feels way more natural, though. Using a D-pad on a 3D game just feels really fucking awkward for some reason. I think it's because the fact they control better with the analog stick. It's meant for 3-dimensional movement too, I think. Give me a sec, I'm gonna link this on my Discord since I don't think I've done that yet, and if there's anybody you want to watch who hasn't tuned in, just for the sake of having this out there. Okay, there we go. Let's see. I've never had too much experience with a lot of older like consoles, so I can't comment on all their controls. I don't mind the NES either. I've played a little bit of NES. That controller's okay. Let me see. I don't like the N64 controller very much. I hate it most of the time. Like, it feels awkward. Control stick kind of, excuse me, sucks. And the layout is really, really weird. Like, I don't like that one a lot. Let's see, have I used any third party that I can think of? Wavebird was kind of cool. The GameCube stuff in general was pretty alright too. I enjoyed using like a lot of that kind of stuff. It depends. Third party accessories is a pretty interesting thing to talk about. Wiimote and Nunchuck, I'm not sure how I would rate. I liked the Wii U gamepad when I used it, but I don't know if I'd still love it now. Like, going back to a normal controller, it's like, I don't know if I'd still have the same good feelings about the Wii U gamepad that I did when I had a Wii U for the first time and I was using it for a long time, so yeah, I'm not really big on the Wii U gamepad anymore. It's alright, but I feel like when it comes to controllers that I'm much more fine with using something normal nowadays. I use my Wii U Pro Controller on, like, emulators or PC stuff pretty often, though, so there's that. So at least there's one controller from the Wii U that I still find regular use out of, and that thing has a fucking amazing battery life, like 80 hours of battery life. I hear that DualSense thing on the PlayStation 5 is pretty good too. I've never used it and I don't have a PS5, but I hear DualSense has some cool features to it. Obviously, I hear the graphics on PlayStation 5 are kind of underwhelming since the gaps and graphical power are getting lower and lower, and it's just not as interesting. Oh man, hold on a second, I'm just thinking right now on some stuff. I'm gonna stop talking about, like, controller stuff in just a second altogether, but before we do, I have, like, one more thing I wanted to, like, bring up, actually. Hold on a second to fix something really quickly, because I had to open up a tab that I was worried was lagging my browser. Okay, I think we're good. So, right, let's talk about motion controls a little bit, and the Wii in specific, I guess. This is always a really weird one to get into when I talk about it, and I don't think I've talked about it too much, but, like, I don't love what the Wii did with its controls. I don't hate it either. Not my favorite console, but, like, Wiimote and Nunchuck felt like a really, really weird control scheme. It was really like a big part of Nintendo, like trying to force gimmicks into their consoles. I mean, the same thing can be said of the DS, although the DS was far less intrusive in its gimmick. I feel like the idea of a touchscreen was actually kind of useful and more cool in most applications than having motion control was. And motion control is weird because in a lot of games it felt like it was kind of just shoehorned in and just like not necessarily done great. I mean, there were a lot of good Wii games. There were also a lot of terrible Wii games. Like, you don't play the terrible games, just look no further than like the third-party selection. And I promise you, if you look at third-party games on Wii, you will see all the garbage that all the third parties dumped on the Wii and tried to get like casual people to buy for it in hopes of getting all those like sales from Wii Sports. Oh god, thankfully I haven't had too many experiences with bad third-party games on Wii, but even some of the first-party stuff was kind of I don't know. I can't, let me see, I'm trying to think on like big games that stuck out as Wii titles that I played. Both the Zelda games on Wii were pretty good in that regard, I'd say. I enjoyed playing Twilight Princess with motion controls, and I enjoyed playing Skyward Sword with motion as well. Hey, C's, good to see you. Welcome to stream. Glad you can make it. You haven't missed out on a whole lot. Maybe just been chatting about some stuff. I mean, really been fairly tame stream. Glad you can make it, though. How's your day going? Hopefully good. Let's see. Right now I've been talking about, like, favorite game controller. Feel free to, like, bring up your favorite as well. Also discussed, like, worst game controllers a little bit, too, while I was at it. Right, I think I was talking about the Wii controller. I'm going to keep talking about that a little bit. Let's see, what were the Wii's, like, noteworthy games again? Because I went on about, like, talking about, like, the games that made best use of the Wii mode, actually. Mario Galaxy was cool. I wouldn't say it's, like, a revolutionary game that made, like, best... made, like, the best usage of, like, motion controls I've seen. It was really just, like, minimal stuff with pointer functionality, and they tapped like an attack onto the tagged an attack onto the Wiimote controls. So I'd say, yeah, it's not really amazing, not really something that's the best use of motion controls in my opinion. That's another topic actually in itself, since I mentioned controllers, but like, how do you guys feel about motion controls? I'm curious to hear, like, general opinion on motion controls. PS4 is around stock. I got a TV instead. Sounds neat. I mean, I'm surprised PS4 is selling out right now, actually. I guess people are crazy for the new games right now that are on PS5 and trying to get them at any cost. I mean, it's not like it's terrible to get a PS4 either. You can get PS4 games and PS3 stuff, and some stuff that's like older too, so I guess there's merit to buying a PS4 and trying to play games on it. I don't know if I would want to get a PS4 right now or not. I think, yeah, I'm going to continue to stick to my current plan, even if I have to wait a year or two on price drop. Okay, anyway, where was I? Those are good. And they didn't play the game. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's how I mostly feel about motion controls. I don't really enjoy when devs kind of forcefully shoehorn them into games. Speaking of which, I talked about my opinion on Star Fox Zero before. That's a game that would be better if it not had, like, forced motion controls. They had a really good chance to reboot Star Fox and make it significantly, like, more popular, and they decided to shove motion controls into the game by force, and once they did, they kind of bogged down the experience, and less people enjoyed the game, and more people started bashing it. So yeah, they actually hurt the game's sales potential and made more people not like it by forcing motion controls into it. That would have been smarter if they just made it like a normal Star Fox game. Whatever, though. I'm gonna bring up a few more games I can think of that are good motion control games. I was talking about like how much I liked the Wii Mote controls for a little bit. WarioWare is another good one. Let's see, maybe Donkey Kong. I enjoyed how they used them in Donkey Kong Country Returns. I don't feel like it was a necessity. Those are like the only ones I can immediately think of that are great. I mean, shooters were kind of neat with it too. I'd say like if any games like benefit from motion controls, like shooter games usually make very good usage of motion controls, especially the gyro aiming. I would say like it's genuinely really really good. Also, using like Wiimote controls back in the day, like on a shooter game, was actually pretty smooth to use. Like it felt like it was really neat. Like it was kind of close to the experience of using like a mouse and keyboard on an FPS when you used it, which that's pretty much the main way to go. Like I'd say most people would go for playing FPS, I'd say. Personally, I don't anymore just because of the fact that, I don't know, I can't seem to aim very good on mouse and keyboard anymore. Every time I play an FPS on PC, I end up having trouble trying to aim with like mouse and keyboard, and I always end up struggling to get the right mouse sensitivity on my settings, and then by that point I just end up like quitting out of frustration. I can get like used to using gyro and like a stick controls in like a short amount of time compared to like using mouse, even though I do feel like, yeah, mouse is better for aiming. I just don't want to sit there and fiddle with like controls I'm not getting set up right. It's a little bit of an unfortunate scenario, but whatever. Anyway, let's see, where were we? So how's everyone's holiday going right now? I'm assuming everybody, like most people who are watching, are having like their winter break right now for school or whatever. Usually I think most schools like let people out for like, I think it's like around like the week before Christmas or something, and then you get like 2 weeks for Christmas time in most places. That was a heck of a good time back when you're younger. Christmas break and summer break were always like 2 times of the year that were like a big point to look forward to, since those were always like significant breaks. Unfortunately for me, spring break was not something I got to enjoy very much, because spring break was something where my parents usually made us do crap with like showing animals, and ended up taking up my time and making it awkward and not as fun. We didn't get to have any free time to enjoy spring break usually, which that honestly sucked when that happened. I could say that summer break too, my dad made us work outside a lot during summer break. I'd kind of resent my parents for ruining my childhood so much, but I don't want to talk about that too much. You have winter break on Tuesday? That's still a good ways off, but I mean, hey, at least you only, unless I'm getting this wrong, it sounds like you only have Monday, you have to go back to school, and then on, well, maybe you have to wait until after school on Tuesday, but like, that's not too much time you have to deal with going into classes where you get to enjoy winter break, so there's that. Seems like it's kind of late for when they're doing their break. Let me see, it's Monday again. Monday's on the 21st. I guess that's not too late. I think when I was in school, we usually got, well, I guess that's right. I'd say about the 20th. I'm gonna say, I'm not sure when we're usually released, so there was like a little before a week or what. Usually they gave us plenty of time. We get to have like at least the first week of January and like a little bit before Christmas time before we got our winter break to take off. So say like, hopefully they're at least giving you the full 2 weeks. Most schools do. Winter break is usually a pretty fun time. I've got to say, I don't really love the cold. I think I brought this exact topic up on stream, but I don't think I've like discussed this with like the chat too much. How do you like? What do you guys prefer for like weather? Do you guys like it colder, or you like the hotter weather more personally? I think I prefer to be like, I like summertime, and I'd rather deal with like hotter weather than colder weather. I deal cold weather really poorly, so I'm not a big fan of dealing with cold weather. I fucking hate being cold. wintertime is one of my least favorite times of the year as a result of that. Ugh, I don't know. Every time I get out in the cold, I just fucking feel like I'm miserable and want to get back inside as quickly as possible. Also, it feels like it's kind of painful to be stuck out in the cold for too long. Whereas I don't feel like I deal with it like... yeah, I don't deal with being stuck out in it very long. I like being inside where it's warm. Wait, can't tell. You're saying you like snow more, or do you like it less? I can't really tell what you're trying to say. You like snow more than the heat, or if you don't like it. I personally, yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the cold. I deal with it really poorly. I'd fucking hate being cold. The worst part of being cold is not only does it feel bad, but also the fact that if you get like too cold outside, you can feel like your fingers or other parts of your body like slowly start to respond in pain from how long you've been outside. It feels absolutely awful when you have to deal with it. Oh, you like snow more. That makes sense. I don't see it too often in Texas, but I also just don't like the cold weather in general. Snow is alright, but I feel like the general pain that comes with being cold is fucking miserable. Seeing your fingers turn red and then feeling how much it fucking hurts from fucking being out there. Not to mention the scare of like potentially dealing with frostbite, although I think frostbite's something that only happens when you're out for too long, so it's not too bad. It is a scare though, and in general is like, I guess there's problems with the heat too, like when it comes to snow and like the cold, you have to worry about frostbite. When it comes to the heat, you have to worry about overheating and dealing with like heat stroke. So they both have their severe issues. Although in general, I feel like there's more horror stories about fucking dying from like hypothermia or like getting frostbite from like the snow than there are like stories from heat stroke. It's not good either way, but I hear a lot of bad things about like the cold, honestly. Ugh. I've got to say, one thing I really did love when I was a kid, though, I enjoyed like messing around when it was snowy, since we didn't see it like super often. Like it was fun to just goof off and like make snow angels or try to build a snowman or do snowball fights. That was something I enjoyed when I was a kid. It felt like it was a lot of fun to just mess around quite a bit with the snow and mess around. Didn't get the chance very often. Also, when snow happened, usually it meant that school was out for the day, so you got to have fun for a day, like enjoying that. That didn't happen super often. Our school is the type of school who would rarely ever call in to like have a snow day, even if it was like a ton of snow or ice. Usually we'd still have to go in anyway. So it was always fun to have a day off where we actually could enjoy ourselves rather than be forced to go to school when it was all snowy. Okay, let me see. Give me a second. Okay, here's another topic for a little bit. This is a different topic, but this is something I feel like is something good to bring up. Actually, give me a second before I continue, because I was looking... I'm trying to mark this off my list. Like I said, I mentioned how I list stuff on my... Like, I have a notepad now where I keep stuff open so I can reference my topics I've already brought up easier, and this just helps the streams go a little easier. Give me a second. I'm trying to see if I can find where I put this so I can make sure I know that I've already brought this up. It's just easier on me rather than thinking about it. Actually, I might not even have this listed on my things, actually. Alright, whatever. It doesn't matter. If I don't, then it's not a big deal. So now I got something else I wanted to bring up. How do you guys feel on those, like, anti-drug PSAs that come up, like, on TV or the internet? I don't think they're as big nowadays. I think they've kind of died down where they're like something you don't see as often. At least back in the day, they were something that were like really common and you'd see them all the time on TV. you'd see like these anti-drug PSAs where it'd be like, don't smoke, or it'd be like, oh yeah, weed is bad for you, this kind of shit, and they'd talk about like drugs or like beer or stuff and like this. It's like something that's obvious where it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't deal with it, and they hammer it into your head. I think they tried to keep kids away from that stuff, obviously, but it's like you could not escape it no matter what you went to, and some of it was like really dumb stuff. I remember like some particular commercials I saw back in the day. Like there was one where there was this, I don't remember what it was called, like it was some cigarette commercial or something, or like they'd have like the cigarettes like shown, and they'd like try to, it talked about how bad cancer was, and they would like show like the cigarettes come to life or some crap and like act like a monster. It was really stupid advertising and really, really weird. Just some really, really strange advertising. Also, another one I remember really well, I didn't see it like too much, but it's a very popular clip on the internet. There's like a video from back in the day. It's this guy like sitting here like at the frying pan. You see him like cooking eggs in it, and it's like you see him crack an egg and like drop it into it and like frying it, and the guy goes, "This is your brain," or no, I think he does like he takes it out and like shows the egg like out of the yolk or something, or maybe it was inside the egg. I don't remember how he does it, but it's a really stupid point, and it's like, "This is your brain," and after he cracks it and then drops it in the fucking skillet, he's like, "This is your brain on drugs," and it's like, the fuck is this PSA? I know what you're trying to say, but this is like one of the single stupidest like ways to try and advertise like an anti-drug PSA to a kid is by fucking being like cooking an egg in a skillet. Like the idea of trying to convey that your brain is a fried egg is like, I feel like that's not only going to be a point that's missed by most kids, but I feel like the messaging is probably not the most thought out advertising they could have thought of. It's really, really weird and really, really dumb. If you want to look it up, it's pretty easy to find it. I think just looking on Google, or not even Google, on YouTube probably, and you search up like, "This is your brain on drugs," you'd find it like within the first few results you look up. It was really easy to find and a really, really popular clip. It's really stupid. You guys ever seen any dumb clips like that? I don't know about you guys. I remember we would have like a lot of stuff like this in our school where there'd be like people come into our school and like give us like presentations about drugs and how drugs were bad and this kind of stuff. And yeah, we got it. The teachers and there's like talk to us all about this stuff. I don't think there were too many people who were like doing drugs that had like drug problems in the first place, but we saw this stuff all the time. They would not drop it. It was all over the place. Really? You guys were lucky if you didn't have to deal with this crap. When I was younger, it was all over the place. They would not like stop at this crap. I remember one of the ones I saw when I was younger that was really, really disturbing, actually. I don't remember like everything about it. It was this really weird one. I think I was in like the 3rd grade or something, and I'm pretty sure it was like an anti-weed like video that somebody made, because it was like a video where it's like some guy like smoking, and the plot line was some weird shit like they were claiming he had like some magical marijuana pipe or something that he got from like a friend or something who was like trying to get him into drugs, and it was the general like plot line of this was bizarre. Like the guy would smoke it and you'd see like certain effects, like, excuse me, hold on a second, I have something bothering me before I could continue talking. But yeah, you'd see like general effects come up on like the video and like things happening like during this video. And like one of the things is about this like what would happen like this at nighttime. Sorry, I'm going to get back to this in a second. Let's see, another message, you have to go. Alright, later man, sucks you can't hang out and keep watching while I'm streaming this, but I mean, I understand. I think stream's going to be done in another hour-ish, maybe sooner, but I don't think it'll be sooner. I'm planning to go up until I get my 200 encounters that I normally log every day, so planning to do up until I reach 2,300, and then I'm going to stop once I get there. And also, I'm probably going to be online again tomorrow. I don't know about Monday or Tuesday, but I've decided I think I'm going to stream on, stream Sunday, aka tomorrow, and do a stream then, and then I don't know about the rest of the week, but I think, yeah, likely on Wednesday, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, and the rest of it's not been decided right now, but I think tomorrow will be another stream. Anyway, get back to what I was talking about now. Later, C. Sucks you can't hang out longer. If you can make it back, then be more than welcome to hang out and chat some more. Bye. Thanks for watching. Okay, right. We're talking about the anti-drug stuff. The little video thing was really weird. It was like, you see this guy smoking this pipe. One of the things I remember they'd shown, and it was really creepy because you'd see like at nighttime, like he was sleeping, and then something weird would happen, like he was sleeping and he'd have these dreams, like this dragon thing or something, like that'd show up in the video, and it was some, I don't know what they called it, like drug dragon or some shit. It was really bizarre, and this guy was like unable to move while this thing was going, like it was a dream, and you'd see it coming, like he'd see what was going on, like this thing was going to attack him or something, like he couldn't move his body. It was like it was sleep paralysis, and the more that he kept using this like a weed pipe, or like the little marijuana pipe, like it'd get worse, and it ended up getting more and more out of hand, and the guy kept using it because he was addicted to it, and eventually like ended up like swallowing him whole, and then he ended up like, I think the thing was like he died in the night or something over like using it. It was really, really creepy, and like it was symbolizing drugs being bad, but I don't know how accurate the video was to like effects of marijuana. It was a very, very bizarre video. If I could remember like the video of like what it was called, I could mention it. It was really, really strange. Really, really creepy and really terrifying, and the message behind the video was very ominous. I get what they were trying to do. That was obviously a scare tactic to keep kids away from drugs, but my god, did they just make it absolutely disturbing more ways than one. I still remember that video pretty well because of like their advertising for it. It was a weird video. I think I saw this in like 3rd grade or something. It was not a very pleasant thing to have to watch. I'm kind of curious if something's going to turn up for this little drug PSA thing if I look it up, actually. If there's like a result for it, if Google has like a mention of the whole drug dragon or whatever the fuck it's called. Maybe it's called smoking dragon or something. Give me a second. I'm looking this up to see if I can find a result about this. Oh, I found that I was looking for. It's a very, very old video, and I couldn't remember what it was called. And now I found it. Apparently this video is called The Boy Who Was Swallowed by the Drug Monster. I remember this shit. This was like a thing I saw in like school. The fact they showed us this, like, this is creepy and probably not the most appropriate thing to show a kid who's like in like elementary school. I don't know. I mean, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to show that drugs are bad, but there could have been probably other ways than using something like this. I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna count this up. I don't know if I did or not. Shit. I'm just gonna fucking ignore it. Whatever. I think I probably did. For the record, if it wasn't obvious, I don't support drugs. I just want to talk about dumb drug, there's anti-drug videos and stuff, and there were a lot of them that I saw back when I was younger. Oh, yeah, somebody mentioned it on the comments section. They talked about how they showed it in elementary school, and as in 3rd grade class, I had the exact same experience dealing with that, which is like, why? Why would you show this to 3rd graders? Ugh, it's disturbing, I'd say. I don't know. I might actually link this later. I'm gonna skip this one because I don't want to fucking be off my couch. Okay, I have another thing I want to talk about related to this. We'll get into in just a second. Oh god, there's a bunch of comments making jokes about how weed's legalized too. I don't really give a shit too much, but it's funny seeing how they made a such a big deal out of it being something dangerous, and I don't know if it was a big deal or I mean I guess it's dangerous. I'm not gonna say it's good to do weed, but it's funny to see it coming full circle now. It's what in the fuck? This is a creepy ass PSA. Right, anyway. I'm gonna close that, and I can go back to talking about other stuff. I want to talk about some more other PSA stuff I saw recently, or not even PSA, just some other topics that are related to the whole anti-drug thing. It's not completely related to drugs. You guys see those anti-vape ads or anti-vape things that are available? I know every Game Awards and E3 for some reason, namely Game Awards, aren't there in most E3s, but I've been seeing them more and more. I swear every year there's always something about this exact same thing where it's oh yeah, doing vaping is bad. Don't vape. It's okay, we get it. You don't need to shove this in our faces. It's if you want to put this on a network, maybe you should look into places where there's actually good chance people are vaping. I don't see that many people talking about vaping when it comes to video games. I know it's gotten more popular. It seems every year, no, don't vape. Vaping is bad. Just always in game and stuff. In general, it's become something where it's advertised a lot. I don't know why that's a trend. I mean, I guess there are some dumb people in every community, and it would help to stop vaping, I guess. If there's even I wonder if there's negative stuff behind vaping, so I don't know, I'm just talking here without really knowing, but I'm not going to support it. It's weird how there's always an immediate response is these PSA videos every time something comes up is whether it's smoking or vaping or whatever. I don't think they're good. I don't think that it smoking and vaping are good, but god, they're really persistent about shoving ads in the face of literally everybody, even in a video game presentation where nobody is actually vaping, or if they are, they're not focused on in the anti-vaping ads. I guarantee you maybe 1% of people who watch the Game Awards vape, and even at that, even if they do, probably none of the people who are watching actually are going to fucking pay attention or give a shit that there's some anti-vaping ad showing at the Game Awards. I guarantee you none of them will pay literally any attention to that shit. It's just going to be wasted sitting there throwing around these ads there. I don't know. It's my opinion. It's my 2 cents on the whole matter. Let me check on where we're sitting at on my thing really quick. I think we're very likely we're not going to get a shiny today. I don't know. I hope we can, since we're still 60 away from my goal for today. But yeah, we haven't got anything out of all these attempts. I really hope I don't have to wait until beyond 4,000 or something. I'm going to be saddened if I don't, because I get the impression we may not see anything. We don't get it before 4,000, and God knows I don't want that. Okay, I'm going to mark this for a topic that I talked about really quickly and maybe to bring up later. Give me a second. Okay, right. Talents or whatever. I'm trying to think what I want to talk about. That's another thing I was thinking about, actually, is talking about talents, what people are good at, just out of curiosity. You guys have any particular talents you're good at? Just wondering. I don't have anything that I'm particularly good at, I'd say. I mean, I like to cook, but I don't really care about doing it on a professional level. I'm not even sure if I'm that good at cooking. I do enjoy it, though. Cooking's good. I like messing with technology, too. I'm not sure if I'm great with technology. Something I've always sucked at is trying to find any area that I'm good at. It's only games, I feel like. I mean, I've messed around and I found some stuff that I like, but I don't know if I've got any big talents that I'm actually good at. When it comes to stuff that I can actually do well, I feel like I don't have any proper talent. It sucks too. Like, I enjoy playing games, and I'm not even that good at them. I always like seeing like speed runs and stuff, but I feel inferior watching them. See, what's some stuff you guys have practiced you wanted to get like talented in, like things you think are cool? Remember when I was younger, I used to try to, and like I tried skateboarding a little bit. I never got good at it. Never really I never really understood how to make it work, and I kind of gave up. I thought it was fascinating and pretty neat, though. A little bit on the dangerous side, since it's easy to like screw up and hurt yourself. So I don't think I ever got into that. I never really got good at swimming, so never too talented at swimming either. I guess my biggest talent is, yeah, I'm decent at using computers, but I'm not really that great at computers. I'm not really the type who's great when it comes to learning how to use that kind of stuff. Like, I can do decently fast typing, but I'm not super fast. That's something I pride myself on at least a little bit, but that's pretty much it. If I had to, like, say anything else, I don't think there's anything I can think of, actually. I wish I could. I mean, I like to do art, and I'm not good enough at drawing and art to say that I've got, like, a major talent with art, so yeah. Otherwise, I would talk about that some more. It's fun drawing and painting and whatnot. I'm not good at it, though. Not that good at it, at least. I wish I was. I really do wish I was better at artwork, because I enjoyed drawing and, like, doing whatever. Art's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool things you can do with art. I end up feeling like I take forever to do anything, like, remotely good when I try to draw, though, so I don't really ever pursue it that often. Maybe one day we'll do a stream where I try to draw some stuff and do some art stuff. I wouldn't mind. It'd be a lot of fun. I think for a while I was trying to, like, get into biking, because I remember I think I talked to you guys about some of the stuff that I did when I was younger. Like, I'd struggled at like, a lot of things kids would do. Like, I couldn't tie my shoes very well. I couldn't bike very well. I wasn't good at it. I couldn't swim. A lot of those problems, those kind of things were issues for me. I actually did learn how to, like, ride a bike after so much time, and I remember I got pretty good at it. I haven't done, like, any bike riding in some time, though. Biking is something I find to be quite fun when I do it. I haven't had, like, a urge to buy another bike, though. Bikes are pretty cool, though. They're pretty good. It's been a long time since I've owned a bike, though. I don't think I've owned one since I was at least, like, 14 or 15, and I haven't really had the urge to go riding around in one. I mean, why would I when I can drive myself now? I don't have as much need to, so not really something I've had, like, an interest in doing. It's still fun, though. Biking in general is a pretty neat thing to look into, and a pretty big thing if you're talented in it. Like, I know they have the whole, like, what's it called? The Tour de France or whatever, and they have some other things related to biking, some stuff that I'm not talking about, because I feel like if I bring it up, the YouTube's gonna flag the video, assuming they don't already flag it anyway, for some stuff I talked about, because they seem to be really careful about what they flag. I don't want to make their automation angry at my videos and age restrict another video, so I'm going to be kind of careful about what I bring up, or hopefully careful about what I bring up. Biking's pretty neat, though. I enjoy it. It's fun to do. I'd like to try getting better at it and, like, riding around more, because it's a very, very good habit to get into. I feel like I enjoy biking. It's a neat thing to practice. It can be very, very fun to do when it comes to, like, spending time on it. It's just good to, like, mess around. Gives you a little bit of exercise. Lets you go out and explore a little bit. I mean, obviously you get less chance to explore than when you would, like, a car, but it's like, whatever. I mean, I feel like I probably explore less on a car because I get to, like, drive to where I want, and I don't really care about paying attention to, like, every little thing, whereas I just, like, focus on driving my destination, whereas on a bike I'd be paying attention to, like, more different locations that I'm passing by, so there's that. Let's see, what else was there? There's, like, two things I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember what one of them was, like, stuff that you practice as a kid. I think I mentioned this before. I tried to like learn how to blow bubbles. I was never very good at it. I couldn't get used to it. Something I didn't really understand how to do. Just wasn't good at it. What else? Is that it, or is there something else I was going to mention? Maybe it was just the skateboarding thing I brought up. That was the other one. I know that I used to like yo-yos. I wasn't very good at it, though. I never really properly learned how to use a yo-yo. They were always cool, though. I always liked the idea behind yo-yos and thought they were really fascinating. I was, like, really easily entertained as a kid, though. I don't know if I had the most amazing taste and stuff to check out, but I enjoyed, like, toying around with the yo-yos, and I ended up enjoying, like, messing around with them. It was a lot of fun to use a yo-yo and try to sit there and try to use it, even though I wasn't very good at it. I would toy around with it for hours on end, trying to make sure I could figure out how to do it. I never really got used to doing the tricks on it. I mean, it was always cool to see somebody sit there and, like, mess with it and learn how to, like, utilize it and figure out, like, how to do all these different things where you, like, do, like, there's one's, like, called, like, walking the dog, where you made it, like, go on the ground and you could, like, have it follow around you. That one was kind of neat. That was a good yo-yo trick. I know there was also, like, one where, well, there's, like, the one where you make it go in a circle, you get it to go up, you get it to go down, those kind of things. Those are some pretty common tricks. I'm not sure what else. There's some pretty fascinating stuff that you could do with yo-yos, and I enjoyed checking that stuff out. That was something I enjoyed. There's a lot of cool little hobbies you could mess around with as a kid, too. Like, magic shows are kind of neat. That's another thing that's pretty good. I never really got into that, but I always, like, watched that, and I thought it was really, really fascinating. I was always interested in magic shows and how those worked. Always thought that was the coolest thing to check out. Seeing people, like, pull a bunny from a hat, or seeing, like, the whole sawed in half trick, those kind of things. So what else was there? Is that all I'm thinking of? That was, like, big. I thought there was something else I was thinking of, but I can't remember. Maybe that was it. I'm gonna say, like, I had a lot of things that I was interested in. There were a lot of neat, like, hobbies, or, like, it's neat to talk about talents, I should say. Those were things I enjoyed. Always made it more fun to watch, like, talent shows, see what people's unique talents were. I think the only thing I could say I was, like, somewhat decent as a kid, besides, like, video games, computers, like spell relatively well, and I could do, like, pretty good just hearing a word for the first time and trying to, like, spell out a word just by hearing somebody call it out, so there's that. That was something. Spelling bees were interesting. I only think I participated in those, like, so many times, though, so I didn't really, never once, I never really, like, played, like, more than one or two of them, and yeah, there's always, like, something that's confusing. I think the one I remember I did participate in, I didn't practice any of the words. I didn't know about it until late, and I made it really far based on one word I didn't know about in the whole list of all the words. Oh, man. Give me a second. I'm just thinking right now. I think I talked about what I wanted to on that particular topic. I want to move on to another subject in a second. We'll do that in a moment. I guess I want to talk about some shows I've been watching in a minute, because I have some stuff that I've been watching. It's pretty good that I wanted to talk about. I think I talked about a little bit of it before. I don't know if I talked about it too much. Give me a second, though, before we continue. I just need a moment to find what I was mentioning. Oh, there it is. Talents. That's what I was meaning to bring up. Okay. I think we're good. Right. Let's see. Going back to where I was talking about. Been watching a lot of shows. Any good shows anybody's been watching, keeping up with recently? I've been watching more anime than I intended to this year, and I've been finding I've been having a decent time. I don't really watch it very often usually. I don't normally get, like, too invested in watching tons of anime. I think this year's been, like, one of these years where, since I've been lacking in new games that I want to play. I've been making up for it by watching like new shows, like new anime or whatever, stuff that I've had interest in. And I want to talk about that some. I enjoy talking about like whatever I've been watching. I've been like one thing I've been watching more of recently, I've been getting more into like watching Fire Force actually. That show's been pretty fascinating. I started watching it like in the first season and I thought it was alright. I didn't really get super into it, but the more I watched it, I started liking it a lot, and the second season's good, and I gotta say, it's been winning me over. It's a little bit bad about how much fan service it has. If it wasn't for the fan service, I feel like the art, or not the art, but too, like the show itself would be better, and it'd be more interesting. There'd be more fun points to talk about, but it's still really good. I like how they handle the show and like how they make things work out. The whole infernal thing is really, really neat. I'm trying to be careful about how I talk with this. Like I said, I don't want YouTube being annoying with its flagging system again. I'm trying to observe what happened last time and figure out why exactly it brought up that whole age restriction. But yeah, I like the whole thing with that and the whole like war they've got going on between the White Clad and the Fire Force. It's really, really neat. I'm curious, you guys ever like have that dream when you're a kid, like want to be like a firefighter or like a police officer or like anything like that? I think a lot of kids have that goal of wanting to be like in one of those groups and want to do something for like the greater good. I know that that's like a thing a lot of kids were interested in. I wanted to be a cop when I was younger, I think, and I stopped caring about it over time. I still thought it was cool for like a while before I gave up on it. I mean, I think a firefighter's like a pretty decent job, probably. Get to work to save people from fire. Obviously scary, though, to go face a fire and like try to save people as part of your everyday job. That must be terrifying to put up with. I can imagine that's not an easy job to deal with. Also, like I said earlier on another stream, yeah, fucking anime always makes things like significantly weirder and different from what it's actually like. Like fighting fighters obviously isn't what it's like in the show. The action in the show is really, really good though. I've been enjoying what I've seen at Fire Force. It's really been a fun time to watch it and see how cool it's been, see how well put together it's been. I've enjoyed watching it very, very much. I've also been watching another show, like a romance show. I wanted to talk about that some. It's called Tony Kawa, I think. It's about like a couple. It's really weird. They got married without even going on like a first date, and like this, they're surprisingly compatible. Like a really, really cute show, really, really good. I've been really, really enjoying it. It's based on an old Japanese legend to an extent, I think. I think it's like what's it called? Princess Kaguya or something? I have to check the name of it to be certain what the legend is. It's good. I recommend it. It's not really an amazing show, but it's like something really, really easy to watch, really, really sweet and really, really cute. If you want a show to watch, it's not a bad show, and it's a pretty decent watch to check out like all of it and see just like what it's like. It's really, really a pretty alright thing to see. I enjoyed like watching so much of it I've seen so far, like all that I've seen up to this point. I've really enjoyed it. Even the little silly moments, some of them are a little dirtier than others, but it's still a really, really great show. It's a good, like it's done well, excuse me, I say it's a good show, and it's got like a lot of clever writing in it, and I've got to say, yeah, it's very good in my opinion so far. There's like another show I've been wanting to watch that I'm gonna wait and talk about. Like it's another big, I don't know what the right word for it is. I'm not sure how to describe it. I don't think it's like the same level as like My Hero Academia or Dragon Ball or One Piece, but another big show apparently coming up that I want to check in on. Looks a little bit on the violent side, so I don't know if I want to talk about it on the stream too much. Ugh. Hang on a second. I'm gonna check on my thing after the next encounter just to see where we're standing at. I don't think we're like at the point where we've seen a shiny yet, but I'm not really certain. I don't think so though. I want to check on other topic too, actually, really quickly. Hope things are interesting. I'm doing my best to keep the topics fresh and interesting, and hopefully keep plenty of good talking points to talk about. I'm doing my best to make the stream somewhat entertaining. It's been going pretty fast, not too fast, but I mean, feels like I'm getting a decent pacing today. I wish we could have gotten a shiny by now, though. It'd be much better if we had something to show for all this work I've been putting in. Let me see. Just checking one thing here. Yeah, we haven't had a single shiny. I would have noticed we did. I mean, they're rare, obviously. Otherwise, I would have caught the shiny on the first opportunity, but, like, this has been really slow. This was going to be one of the ones that I was originally thinking about getting way later. Now here we are sitting here with the fact it's not popping up shiny at all, and it's driving me a little bit insane sitting here waiting on it to pop up. Like, come on, give me something to work with. How do you guys feel about talk shows? You guys watch those very often? Whether it be like a talk show you see in the daytime, like a whatever on the news. Sometimes they have like a talk show segment, or sometimes they'll have like other shows where you see people just talking about whatever. Also seeing like late night stuff, that kind of thing, where it's like you watch somebody talk about like current events, like David Letterman. I think Jay Leno still has one, I'm not really certain. I know Conan O'Brien did like a show for some time. I don't know if he's still doing it. I think there was like somebody who was talking about it, like COVID, and like started talking about like masks and started propagating anti-mask BS again. So unfortunately, I think we have somebody who's causing problems in that regard and causing like more of the anti-mask conspiracies to pop up, which is rather annoying because it's like I feel like this anti-mask stuff is only making the virus stronger. Thankfully, we're getting closer to getting some type of vaccine really, really soon, so hopefully we don't have to wait much longer for the sake of getting something to make sure we get rid of the virus. Just like, ugh, please, like, stop trying to propagate this BS. The virus is real. You don't need this conspiracy BS, like, making things any worse and people catching the virus. We need to get rid of it, not deal with fucking people saying, oh no, coronavirus isn't real, don't wear your mask, it's not actually a problem. It's like, no, it is. Stop fucking trying to convert people to your fucking crazy belief that this virus that's infecting the whole world is not real. Ugh. See, what's a good show? It's like a talk show, it's fun to listen to. I hear the Jimmy Fallon show is decent. I've never watched it. I'm not sure what the best talk show I've watched is. I don't know if I don't watch a lot of talk shows in general. Some of them are pretty good, though. I think I watched Jay Leno back in the day, like, quite a bit. It was pretty neat. Funny enough, like, the one talk show I remember was, like, an old one from, like, a network. It was not even an actual proper talk show. I think I talked about it as, like, an Adult Swim show. It was called, like, a Space Ghost or whatever, Coast to Coast, I think, and that was a really goofy show. I think it was like a parody of talk shows. That was something that was really fun. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't even think that show's like active anymore. I think they brought it back for like a revival, but I think it's like dead again. Also, I hope it's okay with you guys. I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break to like hydrate myself and get a snack after I get to like 2,275. Why I have so much trouble saying that. 2075. That's a little bit weird to say for the moment, but yeah, once I get to there, I'm gonna end up taking a short break just to go grab a little bit of water to hydrate myself, and like snack on a little bit of candy or something for a second and get my energy back. I mean, I'm not gonna be that long. I normally take a little bit longer, and sometimes like 15 minutes, but I don't think I'm gonna need that long this time. I think I'll just need a little bit just to get myself some water to drink. Speaking of which, oh boy, I'm about to get more water soon. I think I'm running low on it in my apartment, and I need it. I mean, I could drink tap water. Something about drinking tap water usually doesn't taste very good, though. I don't know why. Like, drinking tap versus drinking bottled water, usually you can taste bottled water usually tastes better. There's also a lot of problems that come with drinking bottled water, I hear, but like, I don't really see anything to like support some of the claims against bottled water being bad to drink. So I don't know what to think, honestly. Oh gosh, the way this is looking, and I fucking hate this, I don't think we're gonna get the shiny before 2600. Most people I look at have theirs around that point, and I don't want to wait that long, but so far the game is looking like it's not going to give me any mercy, and it's going to make me go around the whole ×2 odds. We're not going to be quite there if that's the case, but I also feel like there's nothing stopping this game from putting us at double shiny odds or further. Also, can't even tell if the shiny charm is working whatsoever. It's like, just give me a fucking shiny, please. I'm begging you. Let the shiny hunt end. It's gone on long enough. I just want to get my shiny already. Been waiting so long on this to end. I just want to move along and start shiny hunting my next target, and then after that, probably take a little bit of a break if it's not a fast one. Right, after this one, I'm going to take a quick break, and then after that, I'll take my time to go take a little bit and get like a snack really quick in just like 5 minutes, I think. Also, yeah, I guess when you think about it, streaming is kind of like doing a talk show almost, not exactly, but like you talk about like stuff on your mind to your viewers and chat with them. That's something I never really thought about too much. Streaming is fun. I enjoy being able to interact with you guys. I hope we never have to stop doing this, and it'll be a good time. I mean, obviously I'm not going to be doing it as much next year. Like I said, I'd be taking a break to deal with my depression problems, but yeah, I want to keep streaming if I get things working out, hopefully. I do enjoy doing this. It's definitely a fun time. I don't know what it is I like about streaming, but it's been fantastic. Been a good experience. Okay, I'm gonna get up for real after the next encounter, and we'll go get some water, and I'm gonna take a break for a little bit. I feel like that's something I want to talk about. Just looking at what I want to bring up right now. Like, what's a good thing to bring up? Okay, I got another thing I think I want to talk about after this that'll be good. I'm just, like, looking at what I want to, like, talk about on here. Sorry if I'm not saying anything right now. I just had to, like, see what I was interested in bringing up on my list here. Alright, right, I'll pause this in just a second. We'll just take a quick moment to go AFK so I can go grab a snack and get some water. It won't be, hopefully, more than 5 minutes, I don't think. Give me a second or two. Need to find what I was looking for. There it is. Okay, right. Give me just a little bit. I'll be back in just a second. I'm going to check one thing before I go AFK. Just really, really quickly. And then we're done with that. And yeah, I just want to check on a slight thing or two. Now we're going to go AFK for short time period. I'm going to be snacking a little bit, give myself a little bit of hydration so I don't end up feeling like I'm struggling to comment. I'll be back in like 5. I'll be muted for that time, and then I'll be back and we'll end up unmuting after I'm done. It shouldn't be for too long. I imagine maybe 10 encounters at most, probably. See you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Give me just a second. I've been on here for a while, obviously. I just take my snack, and I had underestimated how long it'd take to eat it all and, like, drink up my water. I ended up drinking it all because I ended up getting more thirsty than I realized. I mean, it's pretty much part of streaming. I feel like it's not that surprising to have a BRB screen, so yeah, I needed that time to give myself some more energy and make sure I was all good. I think we're ready to keep continuing, though. Although the stream's about to end in just a little bit, actually. By the time we get 10 more encounters, we're done. I'm going to do 1 over 3,000. 3,000. I said 3,000. I'm not doing that tonight, at least. It's like 1 over 300. Yeah, 1 over 2,300. And then if it doesn't show, then we're going to stop. I'm getting a little frustrated, but I mean, whatever. Not the end of the world. If I don't get it tonight, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to come back and do this again tomorrow, I think, either way, so be ready for that if I don't get it tonight. I would be very happy if we get it tonight, though. Excuse me. Ugh. Like, I would be eternally grateful if this game would just give me the shiny instead of torturing me. I feel like I'm kind of screaming inside right now from how much I just want this to be done, but I'm gonna keep trucking through it regardless. I mean, after I get done with this, I have plans to do Regice, so after this, we'll do Regice, my main profile, regardless of whether or not it happens tonight, tomorrow, whenever. I'm gonna take another day to start the Regice hunt, and then from there, if I end up finding that I want to keep going forward for a while, I'm gonna do that, and I might take a little bit of a break if not. Shiny hunting can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. Sometimes it's really fun, sometimes it's not that fun. Sometimes you get really good results, sometimes you get really crap results. It's always great when you get a fast shiny, you don't have to waste like a lot of time on it. I ended up really enjoying that, and God, I wish my first major hunt that I did in the mainline game to go after like a target like this hadn't been something that took me well over 2,000 plus encounters, and oh well, nothing I can do about it. I did Let's Go hunting and got shiny Mewtwo, but that wasn't quite the same. I mean, it's a little different, I guess, but it only took me like 4 hours to get Mewtwo. This, on the other hand, has been taking me over like 9 days, and I have not gotten anything. Despite all the time I put into the shiny hunt, it's like, come on, anything would be good by now. I don't care about the nature that much. I just want the shiny. I don't care about the stats that badly. I'm gonna fix it if it's bad anyway. I just want my shiny Regidrago. Please give me a shiny Regidrago to end this already. That's all I ask for. I've already got like some Dynamax Adventure stuff. That was a lot easier, I'm not gonna lie. This has been really painfully slow, honestly. Whatever, though. I think I might try another method on the next one. I'm not sure. I think I might actually try soft resets for Regice and see how that turns out. See if it goes over well or not. If it doesn't, then we'll stick to doing this. I'm gonna see how fast I get Regice using soft resetting over using Runaway. Just hope that doesn't take too long, because that shiny's gonna be hard to notice too, and if I'm not paying attention, I won't see the sparkling. I have an idea for that. I'm gonna try bringing out a Regice, bring out the one I got from this profile onto my main after I get done actually, and see if I can identify whether or not the color difference is like easier to tell apart with like a shiny one and a like non-shiny one. I want to see if I can like observe what it looks like and the shiny color. So there's that. I want to be able to see if I can tell what it looks like up close with mine compared to another Regice. So if that works, then I mean, yeah, I can use that as a comparison. I'm gonna try that. Never really thought to do it until now, so we'll see how that goes over. Bring it over and along with like some other stuff maybe, for the sake of trying to hopefully get these hunts to go easier. I was going to talk about movie theaters. I don't think I got a lot of time to talk about it. I was going to talk about like how you guys feel about movie theaters, like the inside the movie theaters, and you guys like the snacks, that kind of stuff. I think we'll have to wait on that a little bit since I spent so much time blathering on about shiny hunting. Also, I don't think anybody's asked, but out of curiosity, I've been thinking about like if I'm going to do another non-legendary hunt in the future, like what I'd like to do like next. I think if I go after something else, I think I'm going to go after doing Beldum at some point in the future, maybe. Also, more fossil Pokemon I'd like to hunt, since there's a lot of stuff in Crown Tundra. I'd like to pick out one of the ones like a Gen 5 fossil Pokemon or something, maybe Gen 6, and do something with that. Maybe like egg hunt those guys, I don't know. Okay, well, it's like we're not going to get it under 2300 at the very minimum, and I don't think we're going to get it at 2300 yet. At least not until late 2300s. I bet we're not going to get it until closer to 2600, knowing how bad my luck's going right now, though, and how little luck we're getting, period. I'm honestly contemplating a long break if we go past, like, 2400, to where I sit there and don't decide to go through with, like, doing any more encounters for a little bit. Maybe take, like, a week off. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I mean, it's something I'm thinking about, considering how long this has gone. Also, yeah, sorry if I didn't exactly talk about a lot that was interesting at the end here. I didn't expect that to start talking about this stuff, just that it got on my mind. We'll talk about other stuff tomorrow, like, so I want to, like the movie theater topic. I got a lot of things I want to talk about when I'm on stream tomorrow. Okay. Seems today we had literally no shiny luck, which is really irritating. We wasted 2 hours, like 15 minutes, and yeah, 2 hours, 15 minutes or so, and we didn't get anywhere. We just got nothing. We just continually sat here without seeing any results. Seems like the game is very much determined to not hand me anything, so I guess we're done today. I'm gonna double check something. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. I checked this plenty of times, and I have my shiny charm. Yeah, you can see that easy. On top of that, like, I can check my Pokédex. We don't have it yet. I'm frustrated. We haven't bumped into even one. Hopefully, we'll get it soon. Anyway, I'll stop the stream here today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I was hopeful we'd get something today, and seems nothing has happened, even though I was thinking maybe we'd get to see the shiny finally. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another stream and try to get this shiny. I'm getting very frustrated with how slow it's going, but hopefully we'll get it soon. Anyway, have a great day or night, everybody, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching. See ya.